lifting weights and found it a great way to release stress. After an intense session, he returned home feeling invigorated. For dinner, John cooked a simple but delicious meal. Pasta with marinara sauce and a side of garlic bread. He enjoyed cooking and found it therapeutic. After dinner, he settled on the couch with a good book. Reading was one of his favorite ways to relax. He lost himself in the story, letting the words transport him to another world. Chapter 7. Nighttime Routine. As the night grew later, John started his nighttime routine. He washed up, changed into his pajamas, and took a few minutes to meditate, clearing his mind and focusing on his breathing. It's important to wind down properly. He then wrote a few lines in his journal, reflecting on the day and jotting down any thoughts or ideas for the future. Finally, he set his alarm for the next morning and climbed into bed. Good night, world. See you tomorrow. With that, John drifted off to sleep, ready to face another productive day.
Do you speak English?
Yes, I speak a little English.
Do you speak English?
Yes, I speak a little English.
How was your day?
It was good, thanks.
How was your day?
It was good, thanks.
What's your name?
My name is Lorena.
What's your name?
My name is Lorena.
How old are you?
I'm 22 years old.
How old are you?
I'm 22 years old.
Are you American?
No, I'm not. I'm Canadian.
Are you American?
No, I'm not. I'm Canadian.
Do you have any siblings?
Yes, I have one brother.
Do you have any siblings?
Yes, I have one brother.
Where do you live?
I live in New York City.
Where do you live?
I live in New York City.
What do you do?
I'm a student.
What do you do?
I'm a student.
Are you married or single?
I'm single.
Are you married or single?
I'm single.
What's your favorite sport?
I enjoy playing basketball.
What's your favorite sport?
I enjoy playing basketball.
How did you learn English?
I took classes for 2 years.
How did you learn English?
I took classes for 2 years.
What's the day today?
Today is May 1st.
What's the day today?
Today is May 1st.
Who is your teacher?
My teacher is Mr. Michael.
Who is your teacher?
My teacher is Mr. Michael.
Do you know who Jack is?
No, who is he?
Do you know who Jack is?
No, who is he?
Who is Sophia?
Sophia? I've never heard of her.
Who is Sophia?
Sophia? I've never heard of her.
Do you know Mia?
Yes, she is my friend.
Do you know Mia?
Yes, she is my friend.
Do you have a boyfriend?
No, I don't.
Do you have a boyfriend?
No, I don't.
What's your telephone number?
My number is 123795.
What's your telephone number?
My number is 13795.
How long have you been here?
I have been here for 4 weeks.
How long have you been here?
I have been here for 4 weeks.
What is your hobby?
I like playing sports, especially swimming.
What is your hobby?
I like playing sports, especially swimming.
How much money do you have?
I only have $12. Not a lot.
How much money do you have?
I only have $12. Not a lot.
What time is it?
It's 5:30 p.m.
What time is it?
It's 5:30 p.m.
What's the weather like today?
It's sunny and warm.
What's the weather like today?
It's sunny and warm.
What's your favorite food?
I love pizza.
What's your favorite food?
I love pizza.
Do you enjoy reading?
Yes, I love reading books.
Do you enjoy reading?
Yes, I love reading books.
Where did you go on your last vacation?
I went to Thailand.
Where did you go on your last vacation?
I went to Thailand.
What's your favorite music genre?
I like listening to rock music.
What's your favorite music genre?
I like listening to rock music.
What's your favorite animal?
I love dolphins.
What's your favorite animal?
I love dolphins.
Do you play any musical instruments?
Yes, I play the piano.
Do you play any musical instruments?
Yes, I play the piano.
Can you speak any other languages?
Yes, I speak Spanish.
Can you speak any other languages?
Yes, I speak Spanish.
What's your favorite season?
My favorite season is summer.
What's your favorite season?
My favorite season is summer.
What's your dream job?
I want to be a pilot.
What's your dream job?
I want to be a pilot.
Do you like to cook?
Yes, I enjoy cooking.
Do you like to cook?
Yes, I enjoy cooking.
What's your favorite holiday?
My favorite holiday is Christmas.
What's your favorite holiday?
My favorite holiday is Christmas.
Do you have any pets?
Yes, I have a dog named Max.
Do you have any pets?
Yes, I have a dog named Max.
Can you swim?
Yes, I can swim.
Can you swim?
Yes, I can swim.
What's your favorite TV show?
My favorite TV show is Friends.
What's your favorite TV show?
My favorite TV show is Friends.
Do you like to take photographs?
Yes, I enjoy photography.
Do you like to take photographs?
Yes, I enjoy photography.
Have you ever ridden a horse?
Yes, I have ridden a horse.
Have you ever ridden a horse?
Yes, I have ridden a horse.
Can you whistle?
Yes, I can whistle.
Can you whistle?
Yes, I can whistle.
What's your favorite flower?
My favorite flower is the rose.
What's your favorite flower?
My favorite flower is the rose.
Do you like to go for long walks?
Yes, I find long walks relaxing.
Do you like to go for long walks?
Yes, I find long walks relaxing.
Can you do yoga?
Yes, I practice yoga regularly.
You do yoga?
Yes, I practice yoga regularly.
Do you like to go to the beach?
Yes, I enjoy going to the beach.
Do you like to go to the beach?
Yes, I enjoy going to the beach.
You like to go shopping?
Yes, I enjoy shopping.
Do you like to go shopping?
Yes, I enjoy shopping.
How much is this?
This is $70.
How much is this?
This is $70.
Are you hungry?
Yes, I'm starving.
Are you hungry?
Yes, I'm starving.
What's your favorite type of cuisine?
I love Mexican cuisine.
What's your favorite type of cuisine?
I love Mexican cuisine.
Are you allergic to anything?
Yes, I'm allergic to cats.
Are you allergic to anything?
Yes, I'm allergic to cats.
Are you thirsty?
A little.
Are you thirsty?
A little.
Do you want coffee or tea?
Coffee, please.
Do you want coffee or tea?
Coffee, please.
What do you want to eat?
Some fruit.
What do you want to eat?
Some fruit.
You like Indian food?
I love Indian food.
Do you like Indian food?
I love Indian food.
Do you drive a car?
Yes, it's a truck.
Do you drive a car?
Yes, it's a truck.
Are you sick?
Yeah, I have a slight cold.
Are you sick?
Yeah, I have a slight cold.
How do you feel today?
I feel great today.
How do you feel today?
I feel great today.
When are you leaving?
I'm leaving on Monday.
When are you leaving?
I'm leaving on Monday.
What time are you leaving?
I'm leaving at 4.
What time are you leaving?
I'm leaving at
Where are your friends?
They went to the restaurant.
Where are your friends?
They went to the restaurant.
Are there a lot of people there?
No, only like 10.
Are there a lot of people there?
No, only like 10.
Is it gonna rain today?
No, I don't think so.
Is it going to rain today?
No, I don't think so.
Are you afraid?
No, I'm not afraid of anything.
Are you afraid?
No, I'm not afraid of anything.
Are you busy at the moment?
I am not.
Are you busy at the moment?
I am not.
Is this yours?
No, it's not mine.
Is this yours?
No, it's not mine.
Would you like to come with us?
Yeah. Be great.
Would you like to come with us?
Yeah, that would be great.
When are you coming back?
I'll be back on Tuesday.
When are you coming back?
I'll be back on Tuesday.
How soon can you pay me back?
I can pay you back tomorrow.
How soon can you pay me back?
I can pay you back tomorrow.
Is your friend Chinese?
Yes, he is.
Is your friend Chinese?
Yes, he is.
How long have you known each other?
Since children.
How long have you known each other?
Since children.
Who would you like to speak to?
I would like to speak to John.
Who would you like to speak to?
I would like to speak to John.
What's up?
Nothing much.
What's up?
Nothing much.
How was your day?
Really good.
How was your day?
Really good.
Are you happy today?
Yes, I am.
Are you happy today?
Yes, I am. What's your name?
My name is John.
What's your name?
My name is John.
What is your surname?
Williams.
What is your surname?
Williams.
What's your profession?
I'm an English teacher.
What's your profession?
I'm an English teacher.
Do you work from home?
No, I work at an office.
Do you work from home?
No, I work at an office.
Where do you live?
I live in England.
Where do you live?
I live in England.
What's your address?
21 Maple Avenue.
What's your address?
21 Maple Avenue.
What's your email address?
You can email me at john@gmail.com.
What's your email address?
You can email me at john@gmail.com.
Can I ask you a few personal questions?
Certainly.
Can I ask you a few personal questions?
Certainly.
Are you single?
No, I have a girlfriend.
Are you single?
No, I have a girlfriend.
How many children do you have?
I have 2 children, a boy and a girl.
How many children do you have?
I have 2 children, a boy and a girl.
When is your birthday?
January 7th.
When is your birthday?
January 7th.
What time do you open?
We open at 8 in the morning.
What time do you open?
We open at 8 in the morning.
What time do you close?
We close at 12.
What time do you close?
We close at 12.
Where is the closest restaurant?
There is one over there.
Where is the closest restaurant?
There is one over there.
Where is it?
I don't know where it is.
Where is it?
I don't know where it is.
Do you have a lot of money?
No, I don't.
Do you have a lot of money?
No, I don't.
You want to see a movie tonight?
Sure, sounds good.
Do you want to see a movie tonight?
Sure, sounds good.
Do you drink coffee?
No, I don't.
Do you drink coffee?
No, I don't.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
You feel sick?
No, I feel fine.
You feel sick?
No, I feel fine.
Isn't it a beautiful day?
Yes, it's beautiful.
Isn't it a beautiful day?
Yes, it's beautiful.
Where are you going for your vacation?
I'm not sure, I might go to Italy.
Where are you going for your vacation?
I'm not sure, I might go to Italy.
What is your favorite food?
My favorite food is rice.
What is your favorite food?
My favorite food is rice.
How come this is so expensive?
It's good quality.
How come this is so expensive?
Good quality.
Why are you studying English?
Communicate when I travel.
Why are you studying English?
To communicate when I travel.
Do you know where my phone is?
Your phone is on the table.
You know where my phone is?
Phone is on the table.
What did you say?
I said, where are you from?
What did you say?
I said, where are you from?
Where would you like to go?
I'd like to go home.
Where would you like to go?
I'd like to go home.
Is your mother at home?
No, she's out.
Is your mother at home?
No, she's out.
Do you have a camera?
No, I don't.
Do you have a camera?
No, I don't.
What's your favorite type of book?
I love reading about different cultures.
What's your favorite type of book?
I love reading about different cultures.
Do you play any sports?
Yes, I play basketball.
Do you play any sports?
Yes, I play basketball.
Do you want to walk or take the bus?
Let's take the bus.
Do you want to walk or take the bus?
Let's take the bus.
Does he speak English well?
Yes, he speaks English better than I do.
Does he speak English well?
Yes, he speaks English better than I do.
How long have you been learning English?
2 years.
How long have you been learning English?
For 2 years.
Should I call you tonight?
No, call me in the morning.
Should I call you tonight?
No, call me in the morning.
Is your wife a doctor?
No, she's a teacher.
Is your wife a doctor?
No, she's a teacher.
Are you going to study tonight?
I tried, but I probably won't.
Are you going to study tonight?
I tried, but I probably won't.
How is your mother?
She is 50 years old, 1 year younger than my father.
How is your mother?
She is 50 years old, 1 year younger than my father.
How is your family?
My family is fine.
How is your family?
My family is fine.
Have you been to China?
Yep, I was there last year.
Have you been to China?
Yep, I was there last year.
Yes, yes, my dear sir. And I do know your name, Mr. Bilbo Baggins. And you do know my name, though you don't remember that I belong to it. I am Gandalf, and Gandalf means me. To think that I should have lived to be good morninged by Belladonna Took's son, as if I was selling buttons at the door. Gandalf, Gandalf, good gracious me. Not the wandering wizard that gave old Took a pair of magic diamond studs that fastened themselves and never came undone till ordered? Not the fellow who used to tell such wonderful tales at parties about dragons and goblins and giants and the rescue of princesses and the unexpected luck of widows' sons? Not the man that used to make such particularly excellent fireworks. I remember those. Old Took used to have them on Midsummer's Eve. Splendid. They used to go up like great lilies and snapdragons and laburnums of fire and hang in the twilight all evening. You will notice already that Mr. Baggins was not quite so prosy as he liked to believe. Also that he was very fond of flowers. Dear me, he went on. Not the Gandalf who was responsible for so many quiet lads and lasses going off into the blue for mad adventures. Anything from climbing trees to visiting elves, or sailing in ships, sailing to other shores. Bless me, life used to be quite you used to upset things badly in these parts, once upon a time. I beg your pardon, but I had no idea you were still in business. Where else should I be? Said the wizard. All the same, I am pleased to find you remember something about me. You seem to remember my fireworks kindly at any rate, and that is not without hope. Indeed, for your old grandfather took's sake, and for the sake of poor Belladonna, I will give you what you asked for. I beg your pardon, I haven't asked for anything. Yes, you have. Twice now, my pardon. I give it you. In fact, I will go so far as to send you on this adventure. Very amusing for me, very good for you, and profitable too, very likely, if you ever get over it. Sorry. I don't want any adventures. Thank you. Not today. Good morning. But please come to tea, anytime you like. Why not tomorrow? Come tomorrow. Goodbye. With that, the hobbit turned and scuttled inside his round green door, and shut it as quickly as he dared, not to seem rude. Wizards, after all, are wizards. What on earth did I ask him to tea for? He said to himself as he went to the pantry. He had only just had breakfast, but he thought a cake or two and a drink of something would do him good after his fright. Gandalf, in the meantime, was still standing outside the door, and laughing long but quietly. After a while he stepped up, and with the spike on his staff, scratched a queer sign on the hobbit's beautiful green front door. Then he strode away. Just about the time when Bilbo was finishing his second cake, and beginning to think that he had escaped adventures very well. The next day he had almost forgotten about Gandalf. He did not remember things very well, unless he put them down on his engagement tablet. Like this, Gandalf Tea Wednesday. Yesterday he had been too flustered to do anything of the kind. Just before tea time, there came a tremendous ring on the front door bell, and then he remembered. He rushed and put on the kettle, and put out another cup and saucer and an extra cake or two, and ran to the door. I am so sorry to keep you waiting, he was going to say, and he saw that it was not Gandalf at all. It was a dwarf with a blue beard tucked into a golden belt, and very bright eyes under his dark green hood. As soon as the door was opened, he pushed inside, just as if he had been expected. He hung his hooded cloak on the nearest peg, and, "Dwalin at your service," he said with a low bow. "Bilbo Baggins at yours," said the hobbit, too surprised to ask any questions for the moment. When the silence that followed had become uncomfortable, he added, "I am just about to take tea. Pray come and have some with me." A little stiff, perhaps. He meant it kindly. And what would you do if an uninvited dwarf came and hung his things up in your hall without a word of explanation? They had not been at table long. In fact, they had hardly reached the third cake, when there came another even louder ring at the bell. "Excuse me," said the hobbit, and off he went to the door. "So you have got here at last." That was what he was going to say to Gandalf this time. But it was not Gandalf. Instead, there was a very old-looking dwarf on the step with a white beard and a scarlet hood, and he too hopped inside as soon as the door was open, just as if he had been invited. "I see they have begun to arrive already," he said when he caught sight of Dwalin's green hood hanging up. He hung his red one next to it, and, "Balin at your service," he said with his hand on his breast. "Thank you," said Bilbo with a gasp. It was not the correct thing to say, but "they have begun to arrive" had flustered him badly. He liked visitors, but he liked to know them before they arrived, and he preferred to ask them himself. He had a horrible thought that the cakes might run short, and then he, as the host, he knew his duty and stuck to it, however painful. He might have to go without. "Come along in and have some tea," he managed to say after taking a deep breath. "A little beer would suit me better, if it is all the same to you, my good sir," said Balin with the white beard. "But I don't mind some cake, seed cake if you have any." "Lots." Bilbo found himself answering to his own surprise, and he found himself scuttling off too to the cellar to fill a pint beer mug, and then to a pantry to fetch 2 beautiful round seed cakes she had baked that afternoon for his after-supper morsel. When he got back, Balin and Dwalin were talking at the table like old friends. The matter of fact, they were brothers. Bilbo plunked down the beer and the cake in front of them, when loud came a ring at the bell again, and then another ring. Gandalf for certain this time, thought as he puffed along the passage. But it was not. It was 2 more dwarves, both with blue hoods, silver belts, and yellow beards, and each of them carried a bag of tools and a spade. In they hopped as soon as the door began to open. Bilbo was hardly surprised at all. "What can I do for you, my dwarves?" said. "Healy at your service," said the one. "And Feely," added the other, and they both swept off their blue hoods and bowed. "At yours and your families," replied Bilbo, remembering his manners this time. "Wallen and Balin here already, I see, Keely. Let us join the throng." "Wrong," thought Mr. Baggins. "I don't like the sound of that. I really must sit down for a minute, collect my wits, and have a drink." He had only just had a sip. In the corner, while the 4 dwarves sat round the table and talked about mines and gold and troubles with the goblins and the depredations of dragons and lots of other things which he did not understand, did not want to, for they sounded much too adventurous. When ding-dong-a-ling-dang, his bell rang again, as if some naughty little hobbit boy was trying to pull the handle off. "Someone at the door," he said, blinking. "Some 4, I should say by the sound. Feely. Besides, we saw them coming along behind us in the distance." Poor little hobbit sat down in the hall and put his head in his hands and wondered what had happened, and what was going to happen, and whether they would all stay to supper. Then the bell rang again louder than ever, and he had to run to the door. It was not 4 after all, it was 5. Another dwarf had come along while he was wondering in the hall. He had hardly turned the knob before they were all inside, bowing and saying, "At your service," one after another. Dory, Nori, Ori, Oin, and Gloin were their names, and very soon 2 purple hoods, a gray hood, brown hood, and a white hood were hanging on the pegs, and off they marched with their broad hands stuck in their gold and silver belts to join the others. Already it had almost become a throng. Some called for ale, and some for porter, and one for coffee, and all of them for cakes, so the hobbit was kept very busy for a while. The big jug of coffee had just been set in the hearth, seed cakes were gone, and the dwarves were starting on a round of buttered scones, when there came a loud knock. Not a ring, but a hard rat-tat on the hobbit's beautiful green door. Somebody was banging with a stick. Bilbo rushed along the passage, very angry, and altogether bewildered and bewithered. This was the most awkward Wednesday he ever remembered. He pulled open the door with a jerk, and they all fell in, one on top of the other. More dwarves, 4 more. And there was Gandalf behind, leaning on his staff and laughing. He had made quite a dent on the beautiful door. He had also, by the way, knocked out the secret mark that he had put there the morning before. "Carefully, carefully," he said. "It is not like you, Bilbo. Keep friends waiting on the mat, and then open the door like a pop gun. Let me introduce Beaver, Bofer, Bomber, and especially Thorin." "At your service," said Beaver, Bofer, and Bomber standing in a row. Then they hung up 2 yellow hoods and a pale green one, and also a sky blue one with a long silver tassel. This last belonged to Thorin, an enormously important dwarf. In fact, no other than the great Thorin Oakenshield himself, who was not at all pleased at falling flat on Bilbo's mat with Beaver, Bofer, and Bomber on top of him. For one thing, Bomber was immensely fat and heavy. Thorin indeed was very haughty, and said nothing about service. But poor Mr. Baggins said he was sorry so many times that at last he grunted, "Pray don't mention it," and stopped frowning. "Now we are all here," said Gandalf, looking at the row of 13 hoods, best detachable party hoods, and his own hat hanging on the pegs. "Quite a merry gathering. I hope there is something left for the latecomers to eat and drink." "What's that? Tea? No thank you. A little red wine, I think, for me." "And for me," said Thorin, "and raspberry jam and apple tart," said Beefer. "And mince pies and cheese," said Bofer. "And pork pie and salad," said Bomber. "And more cakes and ale and coffee if you don't mind," called the other dwarves.
Once upon a time, in a serene and magical forest, there was a pond known as the Pond of Mysteries. This pond was home to many creatures, but the most notable among them was a clever frog named Freddy. Freddy was known far and wide for his intelligence and quick thinking. He lived under a large lily pad that provided him shelter and a perfect vantage point to observe the world around him. Freddy. Another beautiful day in the pond. Time to see what adventures await. Every morning, Freddy would hop around the pond, greeting his friends and helping them with their problem. His friends included Tina the turtle, Benny the bird, and Sally the snail. Each of them had their own unique skills, but they all admired Freddy for his wisdom. Chapter 2. Golden Crown. One sunny afternoon, while Freddy was basking in the sun, he noticed something shimmering at the bottom of the pond. Curiosity piqued. He dove into the water to investigate. With his astonishment, he found a golden crown lying in the mud. "Freddy, what is this doing here? This must belong to someone important." Freddy carefully brought the crown to the surface and showed it to his friends. They all gathered around, marveling at the beautiful artifact. "Tina, this looks like a royal crown. Maybe it belongs to the king or queen of the land. We should find its owner. They must be worried sick about losing something so valuable." "How do we find the owner? We don't even know where to start." "Don't worry, friends. We'll figure it out together. Let's start by asking around the forest." Chapter 3. The journey begins. Freddy and his friends set off on their quest to find the owner of the golden crown. They traveled through the dense forest, asking every animal they encountered if they knew anything about the crown. They spoke to wise old owls, chatty squirrels, and even a family of deer. No one had any information. Just as they were about to lose hope, they met a mysterious fox named Felix. Felix was known for his extensive knowledge of the forest and its inhabitants. "Felix, I see you found the golden crown. It's said to belong to the Frog King who lives in the Hidden Kingdom." "Freddy, the Hidden Kingdom? Where is that?" "It's a secret place, deep within the forest. Only those who are brave and clever enough can find it. I can give you directions, but the journey won't be easy." Chapter 4. Trials and Tribulation. With Felix's directions in mind, Freddy and his friends continued their journey. They faced numerous challenges along the way. They had to cross a rickety bridge over a raging river, navigate through a dark and eerie cave, and solve a series of riddles posed by a mischievous raccoon. "Freddy, remember, friends, we must stay calm and think carefully. We can overcome any obstacle if we work together." Each challenge tested their wits and teamwork, but Freddy's cleverness and his friends' support saw them through. They grew more determined with each step, knowing that they were getting closer to their goal. Chapter 5. Kingdom. After days of traveling, they finally reached the entrance to the Hidden Kingdom. It was a magnificent place, filled with sparkling streams, lush greenery, and flowers of every color imaginable. At the center of the kingdom stood a grand palace made of shimmering crystal. Freddy and his friends approached the palace, where they were greeted by the Frog King's royal guards. The guards escorted them to the throne room, where the Frog King awaited them. Frog King, welcome, brave travelers. I see you have found my crown. I am deeply grateful. Your Majesty, it was an honor to find and return your crown. We faced many challenges, but we worked together and used our wits to succeed. Frog King, you have shown great courage and intelligence, qualities that are highly valued in my kingdom. As a token of my gratitude, I offer you a place in my court and the title of Royal Advisor. Chapter 6. Celebrations and Reflection. Freddy was humbled by the Frog King's offer. He accepted the title and the honor of being the Royal Advisor. His friends were also rewarded for their bravery and loyalty. Tina was appointed the Royal Guard, Benny became the Royal Messenger, and Sally was named the Royal Scribe. The kingdom celebrated their arrival with grand feast. Music filled the air, and the creatures of the hidden kingdom danced and sang in joy. Freddy, this is truly a magical place. I'm grateful for the friends and the adventures that brought us here. Tina, we wouldn't have made it without your clever thinking, Freddy. Benny, and your leadership kept us going, even when things were tough. We're a team, and together we can achieve anything. Chapter 7. New adventures await. As the days passed, Freddy and his friends settled into their new roles. They helped the Frog King govern the hidden kingdom, ensuring that it remained a place of peace and prosperity. They also embarked on new adventures, exploring the far reaches of the kingdom and beyond. Freddy, every day is a new opportunity to learn and grow. Let's make the most of it. Their bond grew stronger with each adventure, and their reputation as wise and brave creatures spread throughout the forest. They became legends in their own right, inspiring others to be courageous and clever in the face of challenges. Chapter 8. The Legacy of the Clever Frog. Years later, tales of Freddy the Clever Frog and his friends were told in every corner of the forest. Their story became a source of inspiration for young animals who dreamed of adventure and heroism. The pond where Freddy had once lived was now a place of pilgrimage, where creatures came to pay homage to the legendary frog. Freddy, we've come a long way, my friends, but the journey never truly ends. And so Freddy the Clever Frog and his loyal friends continued to live their lives to the fullest, always ready for the next adventure, always united in their quest for knowledge and justice. The end.
Do you enjoy thrilling adventures and captivating stories? On our channel, Storytime English, we delve into fascinating narratives, starting with The Hobbit. Subscribe now to catch every chapter of this epic journey. Follow Bilbo Baggins' adventures and discover how learning English can be both fun and engaging. Let's go. Chapter 1. An unexpected party. In a hole in the ground there lived a hobbit. Not a nasty, dirty, wet hole filled with the ends of worms and an oozy smell, nor yet a dry, bare, sandy hole with nothing in it to sit down on or to eat. It was a hobbit hole, and that means comfort. It had a perfectly round door like a porthole, painted green, with a shiny yellow brass knob in the exact middle. The door opened onto a tube-shaped hall like a tunnel, a very comfortable tunnel without smoke, with paneled walls, and floors tiled and carpeted, provided with polished chairs, and lots of wood and lots of hooks for hats and coats. The hobbit liked visitors. The tunnel wound on and on, going fairly but not quite, straight into the side of the hill, as all the people for many miles around called it, and many little round doors opened out of it, first on one side and then on another, no going upstairs for. The hobbit bedrooms, bathrooms, cellars, pantries, lots of these. Wardrobes, he had whole rooms devoted to clothes. Kitchens, dining rooms, all were on the same floor, and indeed on the same passage. The best rooms were all on the left-hand side going in, for these were the only ones to have windows, deep-set, round windows looking over his garden and meadows, beyond, sloping down to the river. This hobbit was a very well-to-do hobbit, and his name was Baggins. The Bagginses had lived in the neighborhood of the hill for time out of mind, and people considered them very respectable, not only because most of them were rich, but also because they never had any adventures or did anything unexpected. You could tell what a Baggins would say on any question without the bother of asking him. This is the story of how a Baggins had an adventure, and found himself doing and saying things altogether unexpected. He may have lost the neighbors' respect, but he gained well. You will see whether he gained anything in the end. The mother of this hobbit of Bilbo Baggins, that is, was the famous Belladonna Took, one of the three remarkable daughters of the old Took, head of the hobbits, who lived across the water, the small river that ran at the foot of the hill. It was often said in other families that long ago one of the Took ancestors must have taken a fairy wife. That was, of course, absurd, but certainly there was still something not entirely hobbit-like about them, and once in a while members of the Took clan would go and have adventures. They discreetly disappeared, and the family hushed it up, but the fact remained that the Tooks were not as respectable as the Bagginses, though they were undoubtedly richer. Not that Belladonna Took ever had any adventures. After she became Mrs. Bungo Baggins, Bungo, Bilbo's father, built the most luxurious hobbit hole for her, and partly with her money that was to be found either under the hill or over the hill or across the water, and there they remained to the end of their days. Still, it is probable that Bilbo, her only son, although he looked and behaved exactly like a second edition of his solid and comfortable father, got something a bit queer in his make-up from the Took side, something that only waited for a chance to come out. The opportunity did not appear until Bilbo was an adult, around 50 years old, living in the beautiful hobbit hole built by his father, which I just described to you. In fact, not until he was fully settled in life, at least seemingly, by a curious chance, on a distant morning, in the quietude of the world, when there was less noise and more green, and when hobbits were still numerous and prosperous, and Bilbo Baggins was standing at his door after breakfast, smoking a huge wooden pipe that reached almost to his woolly toes, carefully brushed. Gandalf appeared. Gandalf, if you had heard only a quarter of what I have heard about him, and I have only heard a little of all there is to hear, you would be prepared for any kind of surprising story. Stories and adventures sprang up everywhere he went, in the most extraordinary manner. He had not passed by that path under the hill for a long time. In fact, he had not been there since his friend, old Took, had died, and the hobbits had almost forgotten his appearance. He had been traveling beyond the hill and across the water, tending to his own affairs, since they were all hobbit boys and girls, all that Bilbo, unsuspecting, saw that morning. was an old man with a staff. He wore a tall, pointed blue hat, a long gray cloak, a silver scarf over which his long white beard fell below his waist, and immense black boots. "Good morning," said Bilbo sincerely. The sun was shining, and the grass was very green. But Gandalf gave him a look from under his long and thick eyebrows, which protruded from the shadow of his hat's brim. "What do you mean by that?" he asked. "Are you wishing me a good morning, or are you saying the day is good regardless of whether I want it or not, or are you saying you feel good this day, or that this is a day to be well?" "All of that at once," said Bilbo. "It's a very pleasant morning for smoking a pipe outdoors. Besides, if you have a pipe with you, sit down and have a bit of my weed. There's no hurry. We have the whole day ahead of us." And then Bilbo sat in a chair at his door, crossed his legs, and blew a beautiful gray smoke ring that rose in the air without dissolving and floated over the hill. "Very nice," said Gandalf, "but I have no time to blow smoke rings this morning. I'm looking for someone to join an adventure I'm organizing, and it's very difficult to find someone." "I think so. Around here, we're simple folk and contented, and I don't like adventures. They're unpleasant and uncomfortable. They make you late for dinner. I can't imagine what people see in them," said our Mr. Baggins, putting a thumb behind his suspenders and blowing another even larger smoke ring. Then he picked up his morning mail and began to read it, pretending not to pay any more attention to the old man. He had decided he wasn't the type he liked and wanted him to leave, but the old man didn't move. He stood there, leaning on his staff, watching the Hobbit, without saying anything, until Bilbo felt somewhat embarrassed and even a little annoyed. "Good morning," he finally said. "We don't want adventures around here. Thank you. You could try beyond the hill, or across the water." By that he meant the conversation was over. "Ye use good morning for a lot of things," said Gandalf. "Now you mean you want to get rid of me, and that the day won't be good until I leave. No way. No way, dear sir. Let me see. I think I don't know your name." Continues in the next episode.
Conversations in the Enchanted Forest. In a small village nestled between the mountains and the sea, lived a young girl named Lily. One sunny morning, Lily decided to explore the nearby forest, which was rumored to be enchanted. As she walked deeper into the woods, she heard a voice. "Lily, hello? Is someone there?" Voice, "Over here." Lily followed the voice and found a small, talking rabbit. "Hello, my name is Thumper. What brings you to the Enchanted Forest? I was curious about the stories I've heard. Is it true that this forest is magical?" Thumper, "Oh, indeed. This forest is filled with wonders. Would you like me to show you around?" "Yes, please. I'd love that." Thumper led Lily to a beautiful glade where tiny fairies flitted about, their wings sparkling in the sunlight. One fairy, named Aurora, flew over to greet them. "Welcome, Lily. We fairies have been watching over this forest for centuries. It's a pleasure to meet a human who appreciates its beauty." "Thank you, Aurora. Everything here is so magical. Do you have any special powers?" "We do. Each fairy has a unique gift. I can make flowers bloom with a single touch." "That's amazing. Can you show me?" "Of course." Aurora touched a wilted flower and it instantly sprang to life, petals vibrant and colorful. "Wow, that's incredible. As they continued their journey, Thumper and Lily came across a wise old owl named Oliver, perched on a tree branch. Oliver: "Greetings, young traveler. What brings you to my part of the forest?" "Hello, Oliver. I'm exploring the Enchanted Forest and learning about its magic." "Ah, curiosity is a wonderful thing. I can share many stories and wisdom about this forest. Do you have any questions?" "Yes, I do. Is there any danger in the forest?" "There are a few challenges, but nothing too dangerous if you have friends like Thumper and Aurora. Always trust your instincts and be respectful of nature." "Thank you, Oliver. I'll remember that." Thumper then guided Lily to a secret pond hidden deep within the forest. The water was crystal clear, and fish of all colors swam gracefully. "This place is beautiful, Thumper. So peaceful. It's one of my favorite spots. We call it the Serenity Pond. It's said that if you make a wish here, it will come true." "Really? I'll have to think of a special wish." "Remember, Lily, the magic here works best when your heart is pure and your intentions are good." "I understand. Thank you for sharing this with me." As the sun began to set, Thumper, Aurora, and Lily arrived at a massive tree with glowing leaves. Tree known as the mystical tree was the heart of the forest's magic. "Oliver, this is the mystical tree, Lily. It holds the essence of all the magic in the forest. Would you like to speak to it?" "Speak to a tree? How?" "Aurora, just place your hand on its trunk and close your eyes. The tree will sense your presence and communicate with you." Lily did as Aurora instructed and felt a warm, gentle energy flow through her. Mystical tree. In Lily's mind, "Welcome, young one. What is it that you seek?" "Lily, I seek to understand the magic of this forest and to protect it. Your heart is pure and your intentions are noble. The magic of the forest will always be with you, guiding and protecting you." "Thank you, mystical tree. I will cherish this experience." As night fell, it was time for Lily to return home. She thanked Thumper, Aurora, Oliver, and the mystical tree for their kindness and wisdom. "This has been the most amazing day. Thank you all so much. Come back anytime, Lily. The forest will always welcome you. And remember, we're always here if you need us." Farewell, young one. May your journey be filled with wonder and joy. Goodbye, my friends. I will never forget this magical place. With a heart full of gratitude and wonder, Lily made her way back to the village, carrying the magic of the enchanted forest with her. She knew that no matter where life took her, she would always have a special place to return to, filled with friends and magical adventures. A Royal Tea Party Chapter 1, The Invitation. In the kingdom of Arendelle, Princess Amelia was known for her grace and kindness. One morning, she received an ornate envelope sealed with the royal crest of the neighboring kingdom, Ilaria. Amelia, what could this be? An invitation from Ilaria? She opened the envelope and read the elegant handwriting inside. "Dear Princess Amelia, you are cordially invited to a royal tea party hosted by Queen Evelyn of Ilaria. We would be honored by your presence." Amelia's face lit up with excitement as she called for her lady-in-waiting, Emily. "Amelia, we have been invited to a royal tea party in Ilaria. We must prepare at once." "How wonderful, Your Highness. I will gather your finest gowns and make all the necessary arrangements." Chapter 2. The Journey. The next day, Princess Amelia and Emily set off for Ilaria in a beautifully adorned carriage. The journey through the countryside was picturesque, with rolling hills and blooming flowers. "Amelia, look at the scenery, Emily. It's so peaceful and beautiful." "Indeed, Your Highness. Ilaria is known for its stunning landscapes." As they traveled, they encountered a young boy sitting by the roadside, looking forlorn. "Stop the carriage. We must see if he needs help." Carriage halted, and Amelia stepped out to speak with the boy. "Hello there. Are you all right?" I lost my way. I was trying to find my grandmother's house. Emily, where does your grandmother live, young man? In the village of Rosendale, just beyond the hills. We're heading to Ilaria, which is near Rosendale. Why don't you join us, and we'll help you find your way? The boy's eyes brightened with hope. Thank you, Princess Amelia. My name is Peter. Welcome, Peter. Get you home. Chapter 3. The Tea Party. After helping Peter reunite with his grandmother, Amelia and Emily arrived at the Grand Palace of Ilaria. They were greeted by Queen Evelyn herself. Evelyn, welcome, Princess Amelia. It is a pleasure to have you here. Thank you, Your Majesty. It is an honor to be here. The tea party was held in a magnificent garden with tables adorned with exquisite porcelain and an array of delectable treats. The guests included royals and nobles from various kingdoms. Evelyn, Amelia, allow me to introduce you to my daughter, Princess Isabella. It is a pleasure to meet you, Amelia. I've heard so much about you. Likewise, Isabella. Your garden is stunning. Thank you. My mother and I take great pride in it. Please join us for tea. As they sipped tea and enjoyed the treats, they engaged in lively conversation. Amelia, I heard you recently embarked on a journey to improve the education system in your kingdom. How is that progressing? It's going well, Your Majesty. We've established new schools and provided training for teachers. Education is the key to a prosperous future. That's wonderful, Amelia. I've been working on a similar project here in Ilaria, focusing on healthcare. I'd love to hear more about it. Perhaps we could collaborate and share ideas. That sounds like a splendid idea. The bond between our kingdoms will only grow stronger through such collaboration. Chapter 4. The Enchanted Forest. As the tea party continued, Queen Evelyn suggested a walk through the Enchanted Forest, which was known for its magical creatures and ancient trees. Would you like to see the Enchanted Forest, Amelia? It's a truly magical place. I would love to. I've heard so much about it. The group ventured into the forest, where the air was filled with the sounds of birds singing and leaves rustling. Suddenly, they heard a soft, melodic voice singing. Amelia, who is that singing? So beautiful. That is the enchanted nightingale. It is said that its song brings peace and happiness to all who hear it. They followed the sound and found the nightingale perched on a branch, singing a mesmerizing tune. Whenever I feel troubled, I come here to listen to the nightingale. Its song always lifts my spirits. I can see why. It's truly enchanting. As they listened, they felt a deep sense of calm and contentment wash over them. Chapter 5. The Farewell. As the day turned into evening, it was time for Amelia and Emily to return to Arundel. They bid farewell to their new friends. Thank you for coming, Amelia. I hope we can continue to strengthen the ties between our kingdoms. Thank you, Your Majesty. I look forward to our future collaborations. Safe travels, Amelia. Please visit us again soon. I will, Isabella. Thank you for the wonderful day. As they traveled back to Arundel, Amelia and Emily reflected on their adventure. Emily, what a delightful day, Your Highness. We've made new friends and learned so much. Indeed, Emily, and we've experienced the magic of Ilaria. It's a day I'll never forget. They arrived home, feeling grateful for the new friendships and the promise of future adventures.
When the two giants left the room, Jack stole the 5 gold coins and slipped them into his bag. This is all I need, thought Jack. But then Jack remembered that his family no longer had a cow. Without a cow, they would surely starve. He decided to stay and look for other treasures. He followed the giant into the living room and hid under the couch. The giant went to the cupboard and pulled out a golden hen. "Hello, my beautiful hen. "Lay, please," said the giant, and the hen laid a golden egg. Jack watched from under the couch. "A hen that lays golden eggs," whispered Jack. "If I had that hen, I could buy 50 cows. When the giant left the room, Jack crawled out from under the couch. He went to the cupboard, took the hen, and put it in his bag. "This is all I need," thought Jack. But then Jack thought about what the old man had promised. Jack imagined being richer than the richest man in the world. He decided to see what other treasures he could find. He followed the giant into the bedroom and hid under the bed. There was a golden harp standing in a corner of the room. "Hello, my beautiful harp. Play, please," said the giant. The harp began playing music with no one touching the strings. "Wow, a magic harp," whispered Jack. "That harp would make me rich and famous." When the giant fell asleep, Jack crawled out from under the bed. He took the magic harp and put it in his bag. But this time Jack was less lucky. The magic harp screamed, "Help me, master! A human is stealing me!" The giant woke up and saw Jack with the magic harp, the golden hen, and his gold coins. "Stop, thief!" The giant chased Jack out of the bedroom, down the hallway, through the kitchen, and out the front door. But Jack was smaller and faster than the giant. Jack reached the beanstalk first and slid down. He arrived at the ground with all his treasures. The giant reached the top of the beanstalk and looked down. He was afraid of heights. He slowly climbed down. "Be careful, my husband!" shouted the giantess from the castle. "Humans can be dangerous." Jack saw the giant coming down the beanstalk, so he ran into his house and grabbed an axe. He chopped the beanstalk. Whack, whack, whack! Suddenly the beanstalk snapped. The giant came tumbling down from the sky. He fell down, 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 and landed far away on the other side of the foggy mountains. Thud! For a moment everything was silent. Then Jack heard a strange sound from far away. "No!" It was the giant. The beanstalk had fallen, and now he had no way to get back up to his castle in the clouds. The giant yelled so loudly that the clouds shook and turned gray. Then, somewhere up in the sky, Jack heard Mrs. Giant start to cry. Her tears fell through the clouds in tiny drops and soaked the earth. After that, Jack and his mother lived a very comfortable life. The golden hen made Jack a millionaire. The magic harp made him famous. Jack married a rich and famous woman, and together they had 10 children. But Jack was never truly happy. Every time the wind blew, Jack heard the giant calling for his wife. And every time it rained, he felt the giant wife's tears falling on him. Jack felt sad and guilty. One day when Jack was very old, he decided that he didn't want to be sad anymore. He opened a box on his mantelpiece and pulled out one last shriveled magic bean. If he could find the giant, he could grow another beanstalk. Then the giant could climb back up to his castle in the clouds. If he could find the giant, he could also apologize for being so greedy. Jack packed his bag and walked into the misty mountains. Did Jack find the giant? Did he grow a new beanstalk with the last magic bean? Nobody knows. But people say, if you listen closely during a thunderstorm, you can hear the rumbling sound of 2 giants dancing together.
Jack and the Beanstalk. Once there was a young man named Jack. He lived with his mother on a small farm at the foot of the foggy mountains. Jack and his mother were very poor. Their only way of making money was selling the milk from their cow, Bess. One morning, Jack's mother woke him up early. It was still dark outside. She was crying. "Jack, wake up. Go to the market today and sell our cow, Bess." "But why?" asked Jack, yawning. "We need money to fix our house. There are holes in the roof. The windows are broken. For heaven's sake, we have no front door. Winter is coming soon. If we don't fix the house, the cold will kill us." Jack packed his bag and fetched Bess from the barn. As he was walking out the gate, he heard his mother shout, "She is worth at least 5 gold coins. Don't sell her for less." When Jack was halfway to the market, he met an old man. "Good morning, my boy," said the old man. "Where are you going today?" "Good morning, sir," replied Jack. "I'm going to the market to sell my cow. Her name is Bess." "She is a beautiful cow," said the man. "I will buy Bess, and I will give you a very good deal." "How much will you pay for her?" "I won't take less than 5 gold coins," said Jack. "I don't have 5 gold coins," whispered the man, "but I have these 5 black beans. These beans are magic beans. They are worth more than gold. If you take these beans, you will be richer than the richest man in the world." Jack thought about his mother. He thought about how happy she would be if they were rich. They could fix the roof, the windows, and the front door. Maybe they could buy a new cow. "Okay," said Jack. "You've got a deal. Give me the beans." Jack was very excited. He ran home and showed his mother the beans. But instead of being happy, she was furious. "You foolish boy. You traded our only cow for a handful of beans?" She took the beans and threw them out the window. Then she sat down beside the fire and cried. Jack was devastated. He shut himself in his bedroom. He felt so stupid. They no longer had a cow, and now they were poorer than before. What a disaster. And it was his fault. The next morning, when Jack opened the curtains, he saw something very strange. In the same place where his mother had thrown the beans, there was a giant green beanstalk. It stretched from the ground up, all the way to the clouds. "The beans really are magic," whispered Jack. The old man was telling the truth. Jack's mother was still asleep, so Jack decided to climb the beanstalk to look for the riches the old man had described. "Just 5 gold coins," thought Jack. "That's all I need to make my mother happy." Jack climbed up, higher and higher into the clouds. When he reached the top, he was very hungry. He saw a castle in the distance. "Maybe I can find something to eat in that castle," he thought. Jack walked up to the door of the castle and knocked twice. Knock, knock. A giantess opened the door. She was as big as a house, but she had a warm smile and gentle eyes. "Excuse me, Mrs. Giant," said Jack. "Could you please give me something to eat? I am so hungry." "Oh, you poor boy," said the giantess. She could see that Jack was very thin. "Of course, come in, come in." The kind giantess gave Jack some vegetable stew. He was enjoying it so much that he didn't notice when the kitchen table started to shake. Stomp. 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 Loud footsteps echoed down the hallway. "Oh dear," whispered the giantess. "That is my husband. He is home from work. He doesn't like humans. Quick, hide." Jack hid in the pantry. The giant stomped into the kitchen and sniffed the air. "Fee, fi, fo, fum. Hello, my beautiful wife. Wait, do I smell a human man? Yuck! Where is he?" "Good evening, my darling husband," replied the giantess. "There is nobody here. You smell the vegetable stew, nothing more." "Good," grunted the giant. "I hate humans." He sat down at the table in the kitchen. The giant took out a small sack of gold coins out of his pocket and counted them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gold coins. Jack watched from inside the pantry. 5 gold coins, thought Jack. If I had that money, Chapter 1: The Mysterious Arrival. In the quaint village of Willowbrook, nestled between rolling hills and dense forests, there lived a kind-hearted woman named Margaret. She lived alone in a charming cottage at the edge of the village. One stormy night, as rain pelted against her windows and thunder rumbled in the distance, Margaret heard a faint scratching at her door. Margaret, who could be out on a night like this? She opened the door to find a small, drenched black cat shivering on her doorstep. Its green eyes glowed in the dim light, and it looked up at her with a mix of fear and hope. "Margaret, oh you poor thing, come inside and get warm." She gently scooped up the cat and brought it inside, wrapping it in a soft towel. Cat purred softly as she dried it off and gave it some milk. Chapter 2: A New Friend. Margaret decided to name the cat Midnight. Midnight quickly made himself at home, curling up by the fireplace and following Margaret around the house. As the days passed, they developed a deep bond. Midnight was not only affectionate but also seemed unusually intelligent. "Margaret, you must have come from somewhere. I wonder who your owner is." Despite asking around the village and putting up notices, no one came forward to claim Midnight. Margaret decided to keep him, and he became her loyal companion. Chapter 3: Strange Happening. As time went on, Margaret began to notice strange occurrences. Midnight often disappeared for hours and returned with mysterious objects: a shiny key, a piece of old parchment, and once, even a small gemstone. "Margaret, what have you brought this time, Midnight?" She began to suspect that Midnight was no ordinary cat. One evening, while reading by the fire, she heard a soft voice. "Midnight, Margaret, I need your help." Startled, Margaret looked around but saw no one. Then she realized the voice was coming from Midnight. Did you just speak?" "Midnight, yes, and there's much I need to explain." Chapter 4: The Secret Revealed. Midnight revealed that he was under an enchantment. He was actually a young wizard named Adrian, who had been transformed into a cat by a powerful sorceress. He had been searching for a way to break the spell and return to his human form. "The objects I bring are clues. They are part of a puzzle that will lead us to the sorceress's lair." "Margaret, why didn't you tell me sooner?" "Adrian, I needed to be sure I could trust you. The sorceress is dangerous, and I didn't want to put you in harm's way." Determined to help Adrian, Margaret agreed to assist in solving the puzzle. They spent many nights piecing together the clues, each one bringing them closer to their goal. Chapter 5: The Journey Begins. One moonlit night, Adrian and Margaret finally had all the clues they needed. They set off into the forest, guided by the light of the full moon and the magic of the enchanted objects. "Adrian, stay close, Margaret. The path is treacherous, and we must be cautious." They walked for hours, navigating through thick underbrush and crossing a rickety bridge over a deep ravine. Finally, they reached a hidden cave, its entrance covered by thick vines. "Margaret, this must be it. Are you ready?" Adrian, "Yes, but we must be prepared for anything." Chapter 6: The Sorceress's Lair. Inside the cave, they encountered numerous traps and obstacles. Adrian used his remaining magical abilities to protect them, but it was Margaret's quick thinking and bravery that often saved the day. "Watch out! Another trap!" "Thank you, Margaret. Your courage is remarkable." Finally, they reached the heart of the lair, where the sorceress awaited them. She was a tall, imposing figure with dark robes and a malevolent grin. "Sorceress, so you found me at last. But you'll never break my spell." Chapter 7: The Final Showdown. Adrian and Margaret faced the sorceress in a fierce battle of wits and magic. The sorceress conjured illusions and hurled spells, but Adrian countered with his own magic, and Margaret used the enchanted objects they had collected to deflect the attacks. "Margaret, we can do this, Adrian. We have the strength and the knowledge." "Adrian, together, we are unstoppable." As the battle raged on, Adrian managed to seize the sorceress's wand. With a final incantation, he shattered the wand and the sorceress's power along with it. The cave trembled. A blinding light filled the room. Chapter 8. A New Beginning. When the light faded, Adrian stood before Margaret. No longer a cat, but a young man. The sorceress was gone, her evil magic broken. Adrian, we did it, Margaret. I'm free, thanks to you. It was your courage and wisdom that led us here. I'm glad I could help. With the sorceress defeated, Adrian and Margaret returned to Willowbrook. The villagers were amazed by their tale and welcomed Adrian warmly. He decided to stay in the village, using his magical abilities to help and protect the community. Chapter 9. The Legacy of Midnight. Adrian and Margaret remained close friends, their bond stronger than ever. Midnight, the black cat, became a symbol of hope and bravery in Willowbrook. Stories of their adventure were told for generations, inspiring young and old alike. Adrian, we faced great danger, but we emerged victorious, and now we have a new future ahead of us. Margaret, together we can accomplish anything. And so, Adrian and Margaret continued their lives, always ready for the next adventure, and forever grateful for the magic that brought them together. The end. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, a magical fairy tale adventure. Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, there was a beautiful princess named Snow White. Her skin was as white as snow, her lips as red as blood, and her hair as black as ebony. She lived in a grand castle with her stepmother, the Queen, who was envious of Snow White's beauty. The Queen owned a magical mirror, and every day she would ask, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" For years, the mirror always replied, "You, my queen, are the fairest of them all." But one day, the mirror replied, "Snow White is the fairest of them all." Consumed by jealousy, the queen devised a plan to get rid of Snow White. The queen ordered a huntsman to take Snow White into the forest and kill her. However, the huntsman, moved by Snow White's innocence and beauty, couldn't bring himself to harm her. Instead, he told her to run away and never return to the castle. Snow White, frightened and alone, wandered deep into the forest. After hours of walking, she stumbled upon a quaint little cottage. Exhausted, she knocked on the door, but no one answered. She entered the cottage and found it to be very small, with 7 tiny beds. Too tired to explore further, she lay down across the beds and fell into a deep sleep. Later that evening, the owners of the cottage returned. They were 7 dwarfs who worked in the nearby diamond mines. Their names were Doc, Grumpy, Happy, Sleepy, Bashful, Sneezy, and Dopey. When they entered the cottage and found Snow White sleeping, they were both surprised and curious. "Who is she?" Doc, the leader of the dwarfs, wondered aloud. "Maybe she's a princess," said Happy, marveling at her beauty. Snow White awoke to find the dwarfs staring at her. She explained her story and how she came to their cottage. The dwarfs, feeling sorry for her, offered her a place to stay in exchange for helping them with household chores. Grateful and with nowhere else to go, Snow White agreed. Days turned into weeks, and Snow White quickly became a part of the dwarfs' lives. She cooked, cleaned, and sang with them, bringing joy and laughter to their little cottage. The dwarfs adored her and took care of her as if she were their own sister. Meanwhile, back at the castle, the queen discovered that Snow White was still alive. Enraged, she concocted a plan to kill Snow White herself. Using her dark magic, she disguised herself as an old peddler woman and created a poisoned apple. One day, while the dwarfs were away at the mines, the queen arrived at the cottage disguised as the peddler woman. She knocked on the door and offered Snow White the poisoned apple, claiming it was a magical fruit that granted wishes. Innocently, Snow White took a bite of the apple and immediately fell into a deep, enchanted sleep. When the dwarfs returned home, they found Snow White lying lifeless on the floor. Devastated, they placed her in a glass coffin and kept watch over her day and night, hoping she would awaken. News of Snow White's plight spread throughout the kingdom. reaching the ears of a handsome prince who had once met and fallen in love with her. The prince traveled to the dwarf's cottage, and seeing Snow White in the glass coffin, was heartbroken. He leaned over and kissed her gently on the lips. The magical kiss broke the spell, and Snow White awoke, much to the joy of the dwarfs and the prince. Snow White and the prince returned to the castle, where the wicked queen, upon seeing Snow White alive and well, fled in terror, never to be seen again. The kingdom rejoiced at Snow White's return, and she and the prince were married in a grand celebration. Snow White invited the 7 dwarfs to live at the castle, where they were honored and loved by all. Together, they embarked on many more magical adventures, filled with love, friendship, and the enduring power of good over evil. And so Snow White and her friends lived happily ever after, their story passed down through the ages as a testament to the magic of true love and the strength of the human spirit.
Learn English idioms. The Tale of the Wise Owl. In a lush, ancient forest lived a wise old owl named Oliver. Oliver was known far and wide for his vast knowledge and ability to tell enchanting stories that taught important life lessons. Animals from all corners of the forest came to listen to him and learn from his wisdom. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the forest was bathed in a golden glow, a young fox named Felix approached Oliver. Felix was eager to learn new ways to communicate more effectively, especially using English idioms. Oliver welcomed Felix and invited him to sit on a moss-covered log. Today, I will tell you a story that weaves together various English idioms, began Oliver. Listen carefully, and you will learn not just their meanings, but also how to use them in your everyday conversations. Felix's eyes sparkled with anticipation as Oliver started his tale. In a bustling village at the edge of the forest, there lived a hard-working carpenter named Jack. Jack was well respected in the village, known for his craftsmanship and kind heart. One day, Jack decided to build a beautiful wooden bridge over the village river to connect the two sides, making it easier for everyone to travel and trade. Jack knew this was a significant project and wanted to do it perfectly. However, as soon as he started, he realized it was not a piece of cake. Something very easy. The river was wide and the materials were heavy. Despite the challenges, Jack was determined to break the ice, do something to relieve the initial tension, and get the project underway. As Jack was laying the foundation of the bridge, his friend, an old fisherman named Harry, came by and noticed Jack looking troubled. Harry, who was known for his practical wisdom, asked, "Why the long face, Jack?" Jack sighed and replied, "I'm feeling overwhelmed by this project. It's not going as smoothly as I hoped." Harry chuckled and said, "Jack, don't worry. Remember, Rome wasn't built in a day. You need to take it one step at a time." Jack nodded, understanding that he needed to be patient and persistent. The next day, as Jack was working on the bridge, a curious squirrel named Sally scurried over. Sally loved to gossip and often spilled the beans, revealed secret information about various goings-on in the village. She chattered excitedly about a new bakery opening up and all the delicious treats they would sell. Jack listened with half an ear, focusing on his work. Later, as the sun set, Jack decided to take a break. He sat by the river, feeling a bit under the weather, slightly ill. He knew he had been working too hard and needed to rest. Just then, a wise old owl, much like our Oliver, flew down and perched beside him. The owl, whose name was Owen, asked Jack, "Why do you look so weary, my friend?" Jack explained his troubles and how he felt like he was barking up the wrong tree, pursuing a mistaken or misguided course of action. Owen nodded thoughtfully and said, "Jack, you need to remember that sometimes things happen for a reason. Every cloud has a silver lining. Every difficult situation has a positive aspect. Maybe this delay is a chance for you to rethink your approach. Encouraged by Owen's words, Jack decided to sleep on it. Think about something overnight before making a decision. The next morning, he woke up with a fresh perspective. He realized he needed more help and decided to ask the villagers for assistance. Jack called a meeting in the village square. At first, he was nervous, but he knew he had to take the bull by the horns, face a difficult situation boldly. He explained the situation and asked for volunteers. To his relief, many villagers offered to help, including a strong blacksmith named Ben and a clever engineer named Emma. With the extra hands, the work progressed much faster. However, they soon encountered another problem. The main support beam was too short. Ben suggested they try to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Accomplish 2 things at once, by using the beam to support a smaller bridge that would serve as a temporary crossing. Emma, always quick on her feet, came up with an even better idea. She proposed they think outside the box, find creative solutions, and use the shorter beam to create a scaffolding system. This would allow them to build the main bridge more efficiently and safely. The villagers were impressed by Emma's ingenuity and quickly implemented her plan. As they worked together, Jack felt a renewed sense of hope and determination. He knew they were on the right track. Weeks passed, and the bridge began to take shape. One evening, as the villagers gathered to admire their progress, Sally the squirrel darted up, breathless with excitement. "Guess what? The mayor is coming to see the bridge tomorrow," she exclaimed. The news spread like wildfire, spread very quickly, and everyone was eager to make a good impression. Jack decided they needed to pull out all the stops, make a great effort to ensure everything was perfect for the mayor's visit. The next day, the village was buzzing with activity. The bridge was decorated with flowers, and everyone put on their best clothes. When the mayor arrived, he was very impressed with the bridge and the collaborative effort of the villagers. He congratulated Jack and the team, saying, "This bridge will stand as a testament to your hard work and unity." Feeling proud, Jack thanked the mayor and the villagers. He knew that without their help, he would have been up the creek without a paddle, in a difficult situation, without a solution. That evening, as the village celebrated, Jack reflected on the journey and the many lessons he had learned. Oliver paused and looked at Felix, who was listening intently. "So, Felix, what do you think of the story?" he asked. Felix grinned and said, "It's amazing how many idioms you used, Oliver. I think I understand them better now." "Good," said Oliver, nodding. "Remember, idioms are like spices in language. They add flavor and make your speech more interesting. Let's review some of the idioms from the story." Felix eagerly agreed, and they began to go over the idioms one by one. 1. Piece of cake. Something very easy. Example, building the bridge was not a piece of cake for Jack. 2. Break the ice. Do something to relieve tension. Example, Jack wanted to break the ice and start the project. 3. Why the long face? Why are you sad? Example, Harry asked Jack why the long face when he saw him troubled. 4. Rome wasn't built in a day. Important work takes time. Example, Harry reminded Jack that Rome wasn't built in a day. 5. Spill the beans. Reveal secret information. Example, Sally spilled the beans about the new bakery. 6. Under the weather. Slightly ill. Example, Jack felt under the weather after working hard. 7. Bark up the wrong tree. Pursue a mistaken course of action. Example, Jack felt like he was barking up the wrong tree with his approach. 8. Every cloud has a silver lining. Every difficult situation has a positive aspect. Example, Owen told Jack that every cloud has a silver lining. 9. Sleep on it. Think about something overnight before making a decision. Example, Jack decided to sleep on it before making a new plan. 10. Take the bull by the horns. Face a difficult situation boldly. Example, Jack took the bull by the horns and asked the villagers for help. 11. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Accomplish 2 things at once. Example, Ben suggested they kill two birds with one stone with the short beam. 12. Think outside the box. Find creative solutions. Example, Emma proposed they think outside the box with the scaffolding system. 13. Spread like wildfire. Spread very quickly. Example, the news about the mayor's visit spread like wildfire. 14. Pull out all the stops. Make a great effort. Example, the villagers pulled out all the stops to impress the mayor. 15. Up the creek without a paddle. In a difficult situation without a solution. Example, Jack knew he would be up the creek without a paddle without the villagers' help. Felix thanked Oliver for the enlightening story and the valuable lesson. He felt more confident in using idioms and looked forward to sharing his newfound knowledge with his friends. As the stars twinkled above, Felix headed back home, his mind buzzing with thoughts of idioms and their colorful meanings. He knew that with practice, he would become just as wise and eloquent as Oliver the Owl.
Firebird Introduction. In the heart of Russia, amidst snow-covered forests and vast landscapes, lay a kingdom ruled by a wise and kind king. This kingdom, known for its beauty and prosperity, had a secret hidden in its royal orchard, the legendary Firebird. This magnificent creature, with its radiant feathers that glowed like embers, was both a blessing and a curse, brought beauty and wonder, but also a longing and restlessness to those who saw it. This is the story of a young prince named Ivan, his adventures, and his encounter with the Firebird. Chapter 1. The Mysterious Visitor. One cold winter night, the king sat by the fire, listening to the sound of the wind howling outside. Suddenly, a guard rushed into the room. "Guard, Your Majesty, strange things are happening in the royal orchard. The golden apples are disappearing." "King, this is troubling news. Summon my sons. We must get to the bottom of this mystery." The king had 3 sons: Dmitri, the eldest, strong and brave; Sergei, the middle son, wise and cautious; and Ivan, the youngest, kind-hearted and curious. The king tasked them with guarding the orchard. Chapter 2. Dmitri's Attempt. The first night, Dmitri took his position in the orchard. He was determined to catch the thief. As the night grew darker, he felt drowsy. Despite his best efforts, he fell asleep. When he awoke, another golden apple was gone. "Dmitri, how could I have failed? I will try harder tomorrow." But the same thing happened the next night, and the night after that. Frustrated, Dmitri admitted his failure. Chapter 3. Sergei's Wisdom. Next, it was Sergei's turn. He was more cautious and decided to set traps around the trees. He stayed vigilant, watching every movement. But like his brother, he too succumbed to sleep and the traps were untouched. "Sergei, this thief is no ordinary being. We must think differently." Despite his wisdom, Sergei could not solve the mystery. Chapter 4. Ivan's Curiosity. Finally, it was Ivan's turn. Unlike his brothers, Ivan was not only determined but also curious. He wondered if the thief was something magical. He took his position in the orchard, determined to stay awake. As midnight approached, Ivan heard a rustling sound. He saw a glowing light approaching one of the trees. It was the Firebird, its feathers shining bright. Mesmerized, Ivan watched as the Firebird plucked a golden apple. "Ivan, I must capture it, but how?" Ivan carefully approached and managed to catch one of the Firebird's tail feathers. The bird flew away, leaving the feather behind. Chapter 5. The King's Task. The next morning, Ivan presented the feather to the king. "Father, I have discovered the thief. It is the Firebird." "Firebird, this is extraordinary. We must capture it to bring its beauty to our kingdom. Ivan, I entrust this task to you." Ivan accepted the challenge. He knew it would be a difficult journey, but he was ready to face whatever lay ahead. Chapter 6. The Journey Begins. Ivan set out on his journey, with his loyal horse by his side. He traveled through dense forests, across wide rivers, and over high mountains. Along the way, he met an old man who warned him of the dangers ahead. "Old man, the Firebird is a magical creature. To catch it, you must be brave and clever. Take this, it will help you." The old man handed Ivan a magical bridle. Chapter 7: The Silver Forest. Ivan's journey led him to a silver forest. As he entered, the trees shimmered, and the air was filled with a mystical energy. Suddenly, a wolf appeared. "Wolf, who dares enter the silver forest?" "Ivan, I am Prince Ivan, seeking the Firebird. I mean no harm." The wolf, impressed by Ivan's bravery, decided to help him. "Wolf, follow me and I will guide you." Chapter 8: The Golden Cage. The wolf led Ivan to a clearing where the Firebird was perched on a tree, inside a golden cage. Ivan approached quietly, using the magical bridle to capture the bird without harming it. Firebird did not resist, as if it understood Ivan's intentions. Firebird: "Young prince, I see your heart is pure. Take me, but know that my capture comes with great responsibility." "Ivan, I promise to care for you and protect our kingdom." Chapter 9: The Return Journey. With the Firebird in the golden cage, Ivan began his journey back. Along the way, he faced many challenges: a raging river, a stormy night, and a band of thieves. Each time, the Firebird's magic helped him overcome these obstacles. "Thieves, give us the Firebird or face our wrath." "Ivan, never. I will protect it with my life." Firebird's glow scared the thieves away, and Ivan continued his journey. Chapter 10: The King's Gratitude. When Ivan returned to the kingdom, the people were in awe of the Firebird's beauty. King was overjoyed. "You have done a great deed, my son. Firebird will bring prosperity and happiness to our kingdom." It was a difficult journey, but I have learned much. Firebird's magic is a blessing, but we must also respect its power. Firebird, free to fly around the orchard, brought joy and wonder to all who saw it. Chapter 11: A New Challenge. Just as peace seemed to have settled, a neighboring king heard of the Firebird and grew envious. He sent a message to the king, demanding the Firebird be handed over, or he would declare war. Neighboring king: "The Firebird belongs to us. Surrender it, or face the consequence." King: "We cannot give up the Firebird, but we also wish to avoid war. Ivan, what should we do?" Ivan knew that giving up the Firebird would not bring lasting peace. He decided to meet the neighboring king and try to resolve the conflict. Chapter 12: Diplomacy and Wisdom. Ivan traveled to the neighboring kingdom with the Firebird. When he arrived, he requested an audience with the king. "Ivan, great king, I come in peace. Let us find a way to share the Firebird's beauty without conflict." The neighboring king, seeing Ivan's sincerity and the Firebird's majestic glow, was moved. Neighboring king: "You speak wisely, young prince. Perhaps we can find a way to share this wonder." Chapter 13: Festival of Unity. Ivan proposed a grand festival where people from both kingdoms could come together and witness the Firebird's beauty. The neighboring king agreed. The festival was a grand success. People from both kingdoms gathered, celebrated, and admired the Firebird. It became a symbol of unity and peace. Ivan, by sharing the Firebird, we have brought our kingdoms closer together. Neighboring king, you have my respect, Prince Ivan. Let us continue this friendship. Conclusion: Ivan returned to his kingdom, having not only protected the Firebird but also strengthened the bond between two kingdoms. Firebird continued to live in the royal orchard, bringing joy and wonder to all. King Ivan, you have shown great bravery and wisdom. You are a true prince and future king. Thank you, Father. I have learned that true power lies in wisdom, kindness, and the willingness to share. And so the kingdom prospered, with the Firebird's magic as a constant reminder of the power of unity and the importance of respecting and sharing